Hey everyone, Jen here with a time to stamp video for Viva VegaStamps. I'm starting out in my Dina Wakley Media Journal on the watercolor, the cotton rag watercolor paper, and I have some Dina Wakley Media acrylics in Cheddar, Fuchsia, and Ocean. And I'm just going to put some paint out on my craft sheet, add a little bit of water to it, and then just go to town putting the paint on my background. I'm going to add some water and smear it around with my finger, and the fuchsia and the ocean made this delightful purple color. And then also when the cheddar and the fuchsia mix, oh, it's like heaven. So I'm just mixing it, spraying it with water, mixing it around. I'm trying to be careful not to let the purple mix with the orange too much because that doesn't make a pleasant color. But once I'm happy, I'm going to dry that. And then I'm going to add some lemon, and I'm just going to take the paint right on my fingers and just kind of run my finger around the page in several spots just to like smear it on there. And I'm going to spray it with water a little bit and then sop up some of that water because I really like the way it looked like straight better, not like watered down. So then I'm going to dry that layer, and once that's dry, I'm going to take this Medieval Crosses stencil by Dina Wakley and some turquoise, also Dina Wakley Media acrylic. And I'm just going to use a little cheapy makeup sponge to add these medieval crosses all over the background. I had planned to use my Queen Elizabeth stamp by Viva VegaStamps, so I thought the medieval crosses would be fitting, but I didn't end up using her then. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's just background texture, really. But then I'm going to take some the Dina Wakley white and this ladder stencil, also by Dina Wakley. And I'm just going to take parts of the stencil and add a little bit of that white paint through it. This page really is not my style. It's got like color from corner to corner, edge to edge. But I had a lot of fun making it. So I'm going to start with some background stamping. Once everything's dry, I have the Scribble Circle stamp by Viva VegaStamps. And all the stamps will be listed and linked in the corresponding blog post, which if you're watching this from YouTube, will be linked in the description box down below. And if you're watching from the blog, then they are up at the top of the blog post. And then I have these library pockets and library cards that I got from a school supply store. And I have a bunch of them like that I smeared some like painted paint, yeah. Some extra paint on. And I was just trying to pick one out to use on my page. But before I do that, I'm going to take some Scribble Stick in Ocean and my Stabilo Marksaw and run around those circles from the Scribble Circle just to make them stand out a little bit more. And I'm going to add some water to activate that color, get things moving and flowing around until I'm happy with the way that it looks. And then I'm just making sure that it's going to look right when I put my pocket down. But I realized that in order for my pocket to not look like it was just stuck down, I'm going to have to incorporate some of the background stamping into it. But while that's drying, before I do that, I'm going to take this Ethos house stamp, the Ethos house stamp by Tina Walker, and I'm going to stamp that on some dictionary book page. And then I'm just going to trim that house out as best I can. The little like nubbins or whatever that are at the top, I'm not going to bother going around those. I'm just going to cut a straight line. You know, it's not that serious. So I thought that my house needed maybe something a little on the background behind it to kind of calm down all that paint on the library pocket. So I'm just going to add a little bit of masking tape to the back there. And then once I make sure that the masking tape is going to cover my house completely, I'm going to take some more of my Stabilo Marksaw. And that is just a black, water-soluble black pencil. And the black is like really rich and black. And I'm just going to run that around the masking tape, activate it with water, dry a layer, and then add more of the black until I'm happy with how intense it is. And then once that's dry, I'm going to take a black ink pad and just edge my library pocket. And then the library pocket had like some self-adhesive strips on, but I wanted to make sure it would really stay. So I added some glossy accents to use as an adhesive. And then to incorporate my pocket more into the whole page and make it look so it's not just like stuck down there, I'm going to take that scribble circle stamp and continue the stamp so that it's looking like it's stamped on top of the pocket, like on the background, then on top of the pocket as well. And that just helps it look more like it's all one and it's not just stuck down there. And then while I have that scribble stamp out, I'm going to stamp a little bit of the little loops that extend out of the circle just around my library pocket, just to add a little bit of interest. And then I'm going to take a graphite pencil and make some scribbles. I end up using a mechanical pencil and just make some scribbles around the background. I really enjoy the way that looks, and it's pretty fun to do too. And then I just use some foam tape from my house to pop it up a little bit. And I'm going to stick my library card into the pocket. It stuck out a little bit higher than I wanted it to, so I just trimmed the bottom off a little, and I used a piece of folded over washi tape as like a tab so you could pull it out easily. And then I'm going to take the Viva Las Vegas stamps, that look of otherness, that's what the stamp says, and I'm going to stamp that on my library card. I'm going to stamp it on the bottom of my pocket, and then I'm going to go to town just stamping it all over the background. And but I'm just inking up the part that says otherness, so it's not the whole sentiment, it's just the part that says otherness. And I'm going to stamp it around my circles, and I'm doing like first, second, third generation stamping, so I get different variations of that black color. I'm going to stamp all around my pocket. I'm going to stamp a little bit at the top of my page coming down, just really all around. And then I'm going to add a little bit of washi tape, more for looks than function, because my pocket's already glued down, but as if there weren't already enough going on this page, I thought maybe it needed a little more. So I'm adding some Dina Wakley washi tape. And then for a final finishing touch, I'm going to use my Liquitex acrylic ink in titanium white and just hold the dropper up pretty high and drop that ink. And then I'm going to use the dropper to make some smaller splatters. And then finally, a very fine fan paintbrush to get some really fine splatters. And splatters just help kind of unify everything. I mean, it is kind of crazy with a lot of stuff going on, so the splatters just kind of help unify everything. And then that is it for my page. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to check out the blog post for links to all the Viva Las Vegas stamps that I used. And yeah, I will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye, guys.